Итак, наконец-то та
40
самая
years I had waited
14-я
to get my
миссия.
hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now.
Мы в лесу, да? Похоже. Капец тут.
Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Brown, that son of a bitch had managed to escape my
Ебать,
vengeance time
окружили.
and time again. I
Ебать.
couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
But for all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others.
Я ебал.
For instance,
Ух ты, блин.
did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am.
Бля.
A man with no family, no friends. Nothing
Да ну.
could stop me from taking his life.
Я не буду в
Been
это
after that
играть,
killer
ребят.
forever.
Не буду я это
From the time I rode
проходить.
with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Ну как?
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades. The town was falling apart, just like me.
Мы рассыпались. Сука. И чё? Что, я обратно перешел? Вот наверх. А, вот, вот. Сейчас наверняка будет делать.
But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they hid before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo.
Я налял!
Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around.
И как? Интересно, наверное. Соло, как пройти-то? Не понимаю, как пройти-то. А, вот как. Мгм.
I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
Дом тут подрывается ведь. Еда.
But you obviously prevailed since you said you were telling us today.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
Так.
Because when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy, the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here, and there, and even over there.
Призраки, ребята, это призраки.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition.
Ой, я его даже не заметил, эту призраки.
I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me. In the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Harding, just like I remembered him.
А!
Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun.
Ебать! Ебать! Призраки эти, ебать. Да ладно. Выжил, выжил.
But no ghost army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking with dogs.
Да ладно.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
призраки. Ну, вот и. Ну блин, ну за бред, ну что такое за хуйня-то, а?
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Дальше. 3 почему-то. Бля, не приезжает. Дальше. Да блядь! Сука ща.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Блять, спрятаться не сука. Четвером пошли.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond.
Я их много-то, сука.
Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy.
Бегать, бегай. Во сколько вас? Я ебал вас всех. Сука, заебал.
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh,
The Sundance Kid?
Где ты?
like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you'd seen him alive.
He was alive.
Блять, ну вообще не туда. Ничего. Так. Наверное.
Then I heard a voice called from
Кто
the
еще?
It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at
Да
me from
ты-
out of the fog.
Надаю.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
Ну. Ух ты. Я что, с ними буду драться, да?
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you. You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Eda's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
Капец. Фак. Ну ладно. А, ну вон, да. Да, ну. Тоже. Блять. Блять. О, блять. Чё за хуйня, а? Слышь? Чё за хуйня? Блядь, никак я не успею. Я все-таки их убил. Фух, успел. Есть. Мы прошли это. Итак, что же будет дальше? Продолжить. Эпилог. Давайте все-таки попробуем тоже пройти этот эпилог. И что это?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob? There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Давайте лучше его простим. Или смерть. Нет, я прощу.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Wanted to suss you out, Bob. See what kind of man you turned out to be. Maybe prod you into drawing on me. See, all those years on your trail turned me into a
Я его
killer.
простил все-таки.
Can't even remember who I was before you tried to murder me. You, on the other hand, walked that very same path in exactly the opposite direction.
What do you mean by that?
You think your life is worth sparing, Bob? Boy, what's your name again?
It's Eisenhower, sir. Dwight Eisenhower.
What do you plan to do with your life, Dwight Eisenhower?
Tomorrow I'll be leaving for West Point, sir.
So, you want to be a soldier? Well, then do it right, son. Don't tear down the world out of anger and spite like I did. You build it up. You do something decent with your life, you hear me?
Sir? Yes, sir.
I won't have it said I left you with nothing, Bob.
Вот мы уходим. Вот еще, да. Juarez, gunslinger, пройден. Всем спасибо за просмотр. С вами был Снайпер 29. Подписывайтесь на мой канал. Всем пока.